Hello, welcome back to Reads of an Apple. My name is Stacy and I'm here to talk about the books that I would like to read in the month of May. So here's my May TBR / idea list. I have quite a stack of books next to me, so let's just get into it. So first off, we're going to talk about book clubs. I only have one currently active book club going that I am regularly participating in, and that is the Ilona Andrews Readalong. We are currently still working our way through the Innkeeper Chronicles series. This is hosted by Stef from Novelty Corner, Heather from Hia Booktubes, Izzy from Happy for Now, and Megan, who is Meowth Vader. I will have everybody linked down below. But this month is a sweep with me. This is the 4.5 novella in this series. So we have a full month to read this, but you know, we usually just do one book a month, which is a-okay. I plan on reading this while listening to the graphic audio like all of the previous books, and I don't know if this is going to take place timeline-wise as the previous book because we were with the mod in Ireland, or if this is going to pick up at the end of that. I don't know what's going to happen, but the previous book ended on a pretty big, like, ta-da situation, and we'll see how long I can get to... I can hold off. I try to read this as close as I can to when we do the meeting, but I might not be able to wait and pick this up sooner. So I'm not sure when the live show will be. Typically it's the last or the second to last Friday of the month, and it's usually on Stef's channel at, I think it's 6 p.m. Mountain Time, because I'm in Mountain, so that's usually when it is. But pay attention to their information and their channels and stuff, and they will post about it, I am sure. So yeah, I'm excited to read more of Ilona Andrews, and then I think there's only one more book in this series after this, and then we're all cut up, which is bonkers. So, like I said, that's my only book club book this month. Then, moving on, I need to find a way somewhere to put that. Let's talk about Readathon. So there are 2 Readathons for sure I plan on participating in the month of May. The first is going to be the Mafia romance Readathon. It is back for round 3. This was created by Jenn from the Book Refuge, and this round she is joined by Rachel from Rachel Reads and Sings, Joe from Not So Average Joe, and Jackie from Jackie Kennedy. I think it's First Lady Reads. Once again, I will have everybody linked down below. But Jenn once again created a build your own bingo, which is super fun. And this will run from May 4th to May 7th. So it's just a little shorty one. So here's the bingo board that I created. I went with Italian Mob, Next in a Series, New Author, Tattooed Hero, Captor Captive, Host Recommendation, Royalty in the Title, Blood on the Cover, and Set Outside the USA. So I'm doing something slightly different this year. I have 3 books on my official TBR, and we'll talk about those. And so I made sure that the prompts I picked would cover the books that I definitely will read. And then I just kind of picked other prompts that I feel like I could hit very easily within Mafia, although most of them you can. But yeah, let's just get into it. So here's my official TBR. I would like to finally read the first 2 books in M.L. Philpitt's Fractured Ever After series. These are Mafia fairy tale retellings. I've had the first one checked out on KU since it dropped, and book 2 is out, and then book 3, which is the Beauty and Beast one, comes out soon. I think it comes out like May 7th or May 9th. So just after the Readathon ends. So if I enjoy the first 2, I might be picking that one up right away, but we'll see what happens. So book 1 is The Hunt in Illusion. This is a Cinderella retelling. And then book 2 is The Craving in Slumber. And that one is a Sleeping Beauty retelling. And then the other book I have on my TBR is to finally finish Queens and Monsters. I finally read book 3 during the Mafia Romance Readathon last year. And I've been putting it off finishing this series, but JT Geisinger new series comes out later in May. And yeah, I think it's time. I think it's time. And then I'll have her new series I can hold off on. But I am excited. I think this is... Is this Spider? I can't remember what his nickname is. And oh my gosh, I am completely... Yeah, Spider. Okay. That's what I thought. So I'm very excited to read this, and I'm kind of sad that the series will be over, but I think it's time to finish it. And, you know, I'm definitely been edging myself on finishing it, but I think it's time. I think it's time. And yeah, we'll see how the series ends, but I'm excited to finally read this. And then if I still have time and I'm still in the Mafia mood, I have created a spinner wheel to pick up something random. So I will either pick one of these 12 books, or I will spin the spinner wheel. I plan on doing a reading vlog for the Mafia Romance Readathon. So there is that. So let's talk about really quick. This will just be a lot of words at you really quickly. But here are the 12 books. I was going to do less than 12, but then I kept finding more, and I had to cull the list to get it to 12. So I'm sticking with 12 for my spinner wheel. Here are the 12 books. So we have The Predator by Runix, which is the first book in her Dark Verse series, of which she is currently working on or getting ready to write like the last book, or the most like the next book in the series. I think there's 4 or 5 out already. But anyway, I also have Fallen Prince by Julia Sykes. This is the first book in her Fallen Mafia Prince series. I have Ruthless Prince by Faith Summers. This, I feel like, was on my potential list for the last Mafia Readathon. And yeah, so this is the first book in her Dark Syndicate series. So some of these you probably have seen me talk about wanting to read before, or are popular by other Mafia readers. So anyway, Mafia Mistress by Milla Finelli. This is the first book in her Kings of Italy series. The Sweetest Oblivion by Daniel Laurie. This is the first book in her Maid series, which has been on my Mafia TBR since the first Mafia Romance Readathon. Perfectly Imperfect book number 1, which is Painted Scars by Neva Altaj. I've seen her kind of going around the Mafia readers here the past couple months. Underboss Insurrection, book number 2, Nikki the Driver by Kate C. Wells. This is the follow-up to Run, Posey, Run. I'm excited for this. I do know that this has pretty heavy triggers for something food-related. I can't remember if it's bulimia or anorexia or just body dysmorphism or something like that. But I know that there are some pretty heavy triggers going into that one, but that's not something I get triggered by, but I thought I'd throw that out there. Although most of these have triggers for like violence, probably at the very least. Then we have Condemned to Love by Siobhan Davis. This is the first in her Mazzoni Mafia series. Then we have Bloodied Hands by Adelaide Forrest. This is the first book in her Belandi Crime Syndicate series. And this one I might end up picking up anyway, because I did see that book 1 and 2 were just recently added to Hoopla in audiobook format. So I might pick that one up to have an audiobook going on, but we'll see what happens there. Then I have Taken by a Sinner by Michelle Hurd. This is the first book in her Sinner series. And I know some of these books, people are saying the first books in some of these series aren't necessarily the best. But I like to read series in order 99% of the time. So, and then I have 2 series that I need to continue. I am very slowly, very patiently making my way through Cora Riley's books. So the next book I have in her Born by Blood and Kimura Chronicles reading order is Bound by Love, which is book 6 in Born in Blood. And it's the final book before you pick up a Kimura Chronicles book. I have not read the Chronicles, but I know that there has been some dislike for Cora Riley's more recent books. So when I first picked her up, I binged like the first 3 or 4 books. And I was like, I need to slow down because I want to make this series last. So yeah, this will be the next one in the series. And I think this one returns back to Luca and I think her name starts with an A, but the couple from the first book. And then I still have Sophie Lark's Underworld series to get through. So the next one I have in that is Roman, which is book number 3. And yeah, I wanted to read Roman before I read her last book in the additional, the 5th book she did for Kingmakers. But I wanted to read Roman first, so yeah, we'll see. If I end up wanting to continue any of these series, great. But like I said, I plan on either just choosing from these 12 or doing a spinner wheel. So I'm pretty excited. It's been a while since I've read a Mafia. I enjoy it. I enjoy dark romance when I read it, but especially as of lately, I don't naturally pick it up unless I have a readathon, which is weird because I feel like I enjoy them enough that I have a lot of Mafia books on my shelves, but I don't naturally pick them up for some reason. So I don't know why, because I enjoy them. So I don't know. But anyway, I'm excited to get back to Mafia. Since it's been a little bit. Then the other readathon I plan on participating in is the Hikeathon. So this is hosted by the Bright Side Girl, and this will run from, I closed my book even though my notes are in the book, May 15th through May 29th. So it's pretty much the last 2 weeks of May, and this is going to be a fairly simple, fun readathon. There's 10 prompts. There's 5 bookish prompts, but then there's also 5 physical prompts is what she's calling them. So the reading challenge prompts are 1, book with a map, 2, a survival read, 3, elemental magic, 4, involving a game, and 5, trees on the cover. And then her physical challenges, which you can or can't do. She said that you can focus on just the reading ones. You can also do the physical ones, whatever you feel comfortable with or feel able to do. So number 1 is just read outside. 2 is have a picnic. You can have a picnic inside. Just have a picnic. 3 is make a spring treat. 4 is go to a park. And 5 is go on a hike or a walk, which is super fun. I haven't seen very many readathons that also, because reading is unless you're doing a lot of audiobooks and you're on the go and stuff, I feel like reading is just like a very sit and read hobby. So I thought it was fun that she also has these other physical kind of things to be active and also reading. And what is super cool is you could do almost all of these in one go if you put in an audiobook and you go on a walk to a park and have a picnic while you're listening to your audiobook. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 of the 5 physical prompts, plus whatever audiobook prompt you're going to apply it to. So, you could just make it as simple and as easy as you want, or I don't know. I'm just excited. It's a little bit of a different twist. I haven't ever done any of the Brightside Girls readathons before, so I'm excited. And I think it's nice that it's a 2-week time frame, because even though it's only 5 prompts, it's nice that you kind of have 2 weeks to kind of take your time. So you get 2 full weekends. For me, that's really where I have to do a lot of my reading, is during the weekends. So yeah, I'm excited. As for books that I have on my potential list, so I have quite a few options. Some of these are a little more set in stone. Some of them are not. So we'll kind of see what I end up picking up. I most likely will do a reading vlog for this readathon as well, since I just like doing reading vlogs. So for book with a map, I have a couple of options. I'm kind of slowly rereading some Sarah J. Maas books now that we've got the SJM along is kind of ended. I want to go through and reread some of those last couple books in each of the series. So when it comes to book with a map, I'm leaning towards picking up either A Court of Frost and Starlight. The graphic audio is out for this, so that would be a great audiobook option for me. And I am a big fan of the audio options, and this would be perfect. Although I might wait to read that one because the second half of the audio for A Court of Silver Flames doesn't come out until like August. So I have some time before I reread that. But my other option is to reread Tower of Dawn. This is the fifth book in Throne of Glass. Sixth book? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is book 6. I always feel like there's 8 books, but technically there is because there's the Assassin's Blade. So my brain always gets confused, but because technically it's 0.5. But anyway, Tower of Dawn. This is my gorgeous cover. We got everybody on there. And then there's fun artwork on the insides too. And then I will show you. And then this one is just continuing the like landscape background art. But yeah, so those are my 2 Sarah J. Maas books. I will potentially be picking between them for what I'd like to read for book with a map. Hopefully I might end up picking up something else. Who knows? And then for number 2, a survival read, I immediately knew I wanted to read one of the post-apocalyptic cleric camp books that's been going around. So I went with Last Light. I'll probably pick this one up first because it's a standalone. And I'm not sure if it connects to her other post-apocalyptic series, dystopian series, whatever you want to call it, or if this is like a prequel situation to it, but it's listed as a standalone. So I chose this one over the other ones. Then for elemental magic, I have 2 different options. The first is to finally start Grace Draven's traditionally published series, which is Fallen Empire. Yeah. So this is book 1, Phoenix Unbound. The heroine is a fire elemental. So I still have some Grace Draven's backlist to get through, but I am taking my time getting through it. The other option is what I thought was a new author to me was Lauren Connolly. However, I realized I bought one of her books in paperback and have it on my shelf somewhere back in like 2020 or 2021. So she's not actually a new author to me. But anyway, Lauren Connolly I saw had a book called Fire, Magic, and Ice Cream. It looks like a kind of rom-com-y paranormal-y situation. And this is the first book in her casual magic series. So another fire elemental book. So those are the 2 options I'm going to choose between, if not both, for elemental magic. Then for prompt number 4, including a game, this one I'm going to kind of leave open, and I'm going to pick up a sports romance. I don't know what sport romance, I don't know what specific sport I'm going to be feeling, but I will pick up a sports romance for that. And then the final one I have is Trees on the Cover. And because this is during the last 2 weeks, I'm actually going to apply Sweep With Me during it because I should be able to get through it in time for book club because there is a tree on the cover of this. So I'm going to apply this to the Hikeathon. So really there's only 4 other books outside of this one that I have to work into the prompts. So there are the 2 readathons. There might be more that pop up. There might be a month-long one that I might also participate in, but I kind of like to, I'm trying not to do too much short little ones so I have time to mood read. So then we'll talk about, I have a couple quarterly challenges that are ongoing. I am a member of the Romance Readers reading challenges group on Goodreads. And right now I am currently in the middle of the Pretty Pretty Princess board game quarterly challenge. This runs through June 14th and I only have 10 prompts left, so I will hopefully get through most of those during this month. And then I'm also participating in Read the Season for spring, which is the Maltese edition. So there is the word spring, and then there is, I think, 7 holidays that are translated into Maltese, and then we're reading a book for each letter of those different, of spring and the holidays. The levels are, I think there's 4 levels. There's Read the Season, which is Read Spring, then Spring plus 1 holiday, Spring plus 2 holidays, and then Extreme, which is Read all the prompts, which is like 70 something books. I currently have Read the Season done, and I'm almost done with one of the holidays. I think I only have 1 or 2 prompts left, but my goal is to hit the Extreme, but Extreme wise, I have 45 prompts left, so we'll see, but I have like till June 20th to finish it, so we'll see what kind of happens there. As for yearly challenges, I am still continuing on with Guildathon plus Romanceopoly. I've got my board here. I'm still working my way through both of those and just kind of having fun. At some point, I might need to kind of buckle down on Romanceopoly a little bit better, but I'm still chipping away at it, so that's good. And then before we get into just like mood reading choices, I do have a couple new releases I want to talk about. Now, I did do a Q2 new releases video. I will pop that up there in case you haven't seen it. I'm going to mostly I'm going to try to talk about books here that I now know are coming out in May that I didn't know when I made that video back in the end of March, I believe is when I made that one. So one that I have mentioned is Grim and Barrett by Juliet Cross. This comes out May 9th. I currently have the arc of it sitting on my Kindle, but I am still working on my reread through the series. So my goal is before the Mafia Romance Readathon to reread Always Practice Safe Hex and Resting Witch Face. So this is Livy and Ruben and Jules books, and this is Livy and Garrett, so this is books 4 and 5, and then book 6 will be the last one. So I'm hoping if everything works right, I can give like May 2nd, 3rd to Always Practice Safe Hex, and then 4th and 5th, and then I have, well, you know what? I was thinking 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and then I can read Grim and Barrett after the Mafia Romance Readathon, because that ends on the 7th, so I can pick that up like the night of the 7th and read at that the 7th and 8th, and then I can get my review up for the 9th, which is when it comes out, but I'll make it work. I might have to be reading some of these during other things, but anyway. So I have these 2 to get through. If I don't get through them at the end of April, I still have a few days left, but these are the 2 that I have next before that comes out. I don't have to reread them, but I'm enjoying rereading the series. Then we have, like I mentioned earlier, The Beauty in Scars by M.L. Philpott. This is Fractured Ever After book 3. It also comes out May 9th, and this is the 3rd book of the 2 that I mentioned during the Mafia Romance Readathon. So we'll see if I enjoy the first 2, if I end up picking up this one right away as well. Then 2 books I know for sure I haven't mentioned before. One comes out May 23rd. That is The King's Bride by Beck Michaels. And this is the first book in her Chronicles of Ern series. And this is like a frost or winter fae witch king type thing. I don't know. I saw the cover. I've seen both the fully illustrated cover and this cover, and I was super intrigued by it. I know she has one other popular fantasy series that's more YA, but I think this one is supposed to be more adult, I think. But anyway, I'm excited for it. And then the other one is supposed to come out May 30th, so I might not read this one till June, but that is Caught in the Act by Brittany Gates. This is actually her debut book. It will be debuting in Kindle Unlimited, and this is the first in her new series, which is going to be called Celebrity Hall Pass, and all of these are going to be celebrity romances. And this one is the hero is supposed to be kind of based on like Chris Pine-ish, so like superhero action movie hero, and he runs into a lady who's not famous at all. I think she's like an undergrad or a graduate student or something like that. And it is their romance, and I guess from what I remember, I can't remember if it's like fake dating or they get kind of pushed to date because there's some sort of like paparazzi situation. But it sounded super cute. I'm excited that there's another debut author. I'm a big fan of celebrity romances when they are done right. And the fact that like our hero is a superhero actor, I'm like here for it. So yeah, I'm very excited for that one. So that is it for new releases. The other thing I'm going to touch base on, I still have 3 historical romances sitting on my table here that I still have not gotten to, that I really, really want to read. Hopefully May, I can get through at least one of these for my historical book for the month. So the first is to finish the Wallflower Weddings trilogy by Vivian Lorette. This is her first series. This is book 3, Finding Miss McFarland. I still need to start Lorraine Heath's new series, which is The Chessmen Masters of Seduction. So book 1 is The Counterfeit Scoundrel, and I know book 2 is supposed to be coming in the next few months. And then I still need to read Wolf and the Wallflower by Stacey Reed. So these 3 have been sitting on my coffee table in my living room for almost 2 months now because the stack has gotten shorter. I have read some of the books from my want to read really bad historical romances, but these 3 are still on the list. Honestly, I'm leaning towards these 2 first before the Lorraine Heath book, but we'll see. I might need a prompt for something that works for these, or who knows, but I really want to read these as well. And yeah, so that's it. Those are all my plans. That's a lot of books. Some of them are kind of either or options. I've got some spinner wheel stuff going on. But yeah, let me know what you're super excited to read in May, if you're participating in any of these other readathons or any other readathons I didn't mention that I might not know about. Definitely let me know down below. If you'd like to leave me an emoji instead, leave me a flower emoji, because, you know, April showers brings May flowers. And yeah, I think that's all I have for you today. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you all soon with another video.